This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below.
To be honest, I'm not even supposed to be posting right now. Like, I recorded a bunch of videos so I can give myself the Labor Day weekend and a couple of days off so I can relax. You know, I've been posting videos nonstop all summer. I had to give myself some time to kind of relax and unwind. And I just couldn't stop myself from tiptoeing into this studio and talking about this. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I'm doing this for the love of the game. 3 videos have already been uploaded. I'm not even sure if you're going to get a notification for this video, but this ain't about the views. This for the love of the game. The Steelers, well, let's rewind. The news is that Brandon Aiyuk has signed a 4-year, $30 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Pittsburgh fans have been maintaining that they were going to get Brandon Aiyuk, right, since the beginning of August. So much so, they were laughing at the Browns when it turned out the Browns were out of the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes. LOL Browns, poverty franchise Browns. Oh, look at them. They stink. All the stuff that you hear because the Browns didn't want to trade for Brandon Aiyuk or Brandon Aiyuk didn't want to come here. Okay, cool. Turns out he didn't really want to go to you either, right? Like, I guess that's the case here with Brandon Aiyuk. And this is truly an embarrassment for Pittsburgh. Like, honestly, an embarrassment. That wide receiving room is an embarrassment. And it's the type of embarrassment that makes me really rethink how much credit I give Omar Khan, because it's not just that you didn't get Brandon Aiyuk, it's the position you put yourself in if you did not get Brandon Aiyuk. The Steelers drafted 1 wide receiver, Roman Wilson, in the 3rd round this year. They had a wide receiver that they could include in this trade when the trade rumors were down to, hey, they want a wide receiver. They could have threw Deontay Johnson in this trade, but they traded him earlier in the year, didn't hang on to him. Gave him up for a corner. Now they didn't have that piece to dangle in front of the 49ers to try to get Brandon Aiyuk. Okay. Then this Brandon Aiyuk thing comes out. And here's the thing, Steeler fans. Either he didn't want to go there and you actually save some face if you just are willing to admit that Pittsburgh's not the best opportunity that for a player to go to. And maybe he was just acting like he wanted to go there because he was trolling the 49ers. Maybe that was the case. But anyways, if we take it at face value that Brandon Aiyuk really wanted to go to Pittsburgh and all the Pittsburgh Steelers had to do was up their trade offer to go get him, and they did not do it, that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing because they're going in with a wide receiving core who the second best wide receiver might be Van Jefferson in 2024. Some people telling me it's Calvin Austin. I heard one Steeler fan say, hey, don't sleep on Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller. Ooh, they thought they were going to get Brandon Aiyuk. They really like bought it, and like so many people in the Pittsburgh landscape embarrassed themselves. Honestly, a lot of people embarrassed themselves. This whole saga was something that I just found endlessly fascinating and kind of scary at the same time, because it was shocking how little information the Ricky account, the Bud Light Dog account, the burner account that started this whole thing off, it is shocking how little information he needed to be right about for people to just not just buy in to the fact that this guy knows something, but buy in so deep that they become unhinged about either supporting this guy or holding this random Twitter account responsible. Like, some people were willing to go to Dukes in these Twitter replies for Ricky, a random Twitter account that got a couple of easily predictable things right. Like, I promise you, we're going to find out that this is like some football analyst at ESPN that was like doing this, or like CBS Sports. Somebody who talks about football for a living was behind that Ricky account, because nothing that he predicted was like outside the realm of predictable if you were just paying attention to certain things. Like, it was very obvious. It didn't seem like he was sourced. He clearly wasn't sourced. I snuffed this out about him like 2 days into the whole thing. But like, this thing went on for months and people really bought in. And it's terrifying how little information people really use to confirm whether they think something's true or not. They saw a dude in a Bud Light dog avatar tweet out that Brandon Aiyuk's going to Pittsburgh, and then people just started treating it like it's a fact. That can't be good. There's nothing about that can be good. And it doesn't shock me, because I'm on NFL Twitter. I'm a part of NFL Twitter. I see the dumb shit that gets viral and people start believing on NFL Twitter all the time. It is horrifying how quickly people can be fooled by obviously wrong information. Then that brings me to Andrew Philipon. And I don't want to go too hard on Andrew Philipon, because he's kind of a meme muse. Like, nobody makes for better quote tweet replies than Andrew Philipon, because he gives you the base. Like, for a good quote tweet to hit, right? For a good quote tweet joke to hit, you need that original post to give you some like grade A, organic, untainted, grass-fed dumb shit, right? Like, you need that pure dumb shit, that Kobe beef of dumb shit. And nobody does it better than Andrew Philipon. And I'm so blessed to be a Browns fan, to have a following on Twitter while Andrew Philipon is actively tweeting, because it's just easy dubs. Easy dubs every week. It's an easy dub. He helps my engagement so much. He helps my meme game so much. He's the best practice player on Twitter of all time. And yes, if you're wondering why is Andrew Philipon getting dunked on, he made a show of acting like this was a done deal. He said he had sources that said that this was a done deal. He had a source familiar with the situation tell him that this Steelers Brandon Aiyuk thing was at the goal line. I think he was lying. So that's why I jumped in here on vacation. That's why I stopped from eating my chicken sandwich to come in here. And hopefully I ain't got chicken sandwich dust all over me. I ain't even washed my hands. Once I heard that, I just had to say something. I just had to say, I'm going to get this one off. I'm going to I hope I get my best work in on this thumbnail, by the way. And think about this, dog. We talked about how bad that wide receiver core is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We didn't even talk about the quarterbacks yet. About to be Russell Wilson and Justin Fields throw it to the worst wide receiving cores that they have collectively had. Justin Fields had better wide receiving cores in college. And Russ ain't had a wide receiving core this bad since NC State. Like, that was the last time he had a receiving core this awful. It ain't even like they starting a bunch of young guys. They're starting one young guy. Everybody else is like, yeah, you know he's cooked. He just stinks. Like, I'm shocked they let Allen Robinson go. And they should go get him back. Like, honestly, Allen Robinson could be a 2 on this team. They need to go get Allen Robinson back. They ass. Oh, that offensive line don't look good. Hey, man, I know we expect that Mike Tomlin magic to work his thing. And look, the fact that I'm making this video means that they're going to go 500. the man upstairs is not going to let me have but so much fun with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the fact that they provided me with this much fun, this much joy, this much content, and I am a Browns fan means that there's a correction coming. We're going to get a career year from like Jaylen Warren or something crazy like that. Or somebody's going to emerge. Pat Queen going to find his way into defensive player. Something going to happen to correct the embarrassment. But we got to start asking the question about, hey, man, what is it on that Pittsburgh offense that just like makes this happen? They keep embarrassing themselves, especially with wide receivers, whether it be wide receivers while they're on the Steelers, wide receivers after they're on the Steelers, wide receivers doing TikToks, wide receivers on streams, wide receivers who can't catch a thing. Like, look at the embarrassing headlines that have come out of not even Pittsburgh in the last 4 years. Let's just talk about the embarrassing wide receiver related headlines that came out of Pittsburgh. They used to be known as the wide receiver organization. I've not seen a fall off in a particular area like this in a very, very long time, because Pittsburgh went from wide receiver, we build him you, to, okay, Antonio Brown got to go. We got to send him to the Raiders. They tried to send him to the Bills. He vetoed that. He got sent to the Raiders. Then he did all that Antonio Brown stuff, but he didn't do that while he was on the Steelers. We knew that he was crazy while he was on the Steelers, but he didn't do none of that while he was on the Steelers. So they kind of get a pass for that. And the next guy to take over is Juju. Was it Juju Smith-Schuster? Yes, Juju Smith-Schuster. And that worked out for 1 year. And then he started dancing. And then he went viral on TikTok. And now he's doing these little dances before. And then boom, Von Miller smacks the life out of him. We ain't heard from Juju Smith-Schuster in a serious way since. Like, there was a time where we took Juju Smith-Schuster seriously. Now, even at his best since then, we just don't take him seriously. Oh, you remember Deontay Johnson? Hadn't had a touchdown in like, 25 weeks? Every other week, George Pickett's beefing with somebody on the Instagram story on his team. And now y'all tried to go get Brandon Aiyuk. It got left at the altar. Left at the altar. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's insane. Couldn't be me, though. Somebody, I gotta put the Boondocks clip in there. That's all. I'm going back to vacation. Y'all gonna get videos throughout the. Don't worry. Keep your sub box, subscribe, notify, everything. I got videos on videos ready to come out during this week. So don't worry. I got y'all. I'll go back on vacation, but I had to do that, dog. He was on the goal line. Honestly, the last thing I'll say. In the comment section down below, you tell me, is it more embarrassing if it's true that the Steelers were on the goal line and this happened to them? Or is it less embarrassing if it was just the case that Brandon Aiyuk didn't want to be there? Because if I were the Browns and it felt like they could have made the move and they obviously wanted to make the move, and we had no receivers, right? That's the thing with the Browns. They didn't have to do it. We got like 6 receivers. The Steelers to have one NFL receiver on that roster and a coach in Van Jefferson. They needed to do that trade. And if it didn't go through because they did, this is the J.J. Hickson, we don't want to include J.J. Hickson move of football. It's crazy. That's nuts. They're doing Dan Gilbert level stuff out there in Pittsburgh. And the only reason we don't be noticing is because they Pittsburgh. How long is that going to last? I know they don't believe the stuff that people say outside of Pittsburgh about them anymore. If you hear Steelers fans talk with them themselves, they kind of sound like Browns fans because they in that same situation. But they got Mike Tomlin. As long as you got Mike Tomlin, I'm going to give you 500 until he don't go 500. But boy, it looks bad. Y'all have a great day.